Welcome back to our channel. Today is a beautiful day to unpack all the absolute chaos happening in Genoa City. And we are so thrilled to have you here with us as we dive into the madness. Oh my God, I'm screaming. I literally cannot even deal right now. Okay, but listen, I was sitting on my couch, literally eating my dinner, minding my own business, and I actually choked on my pasta watching this episode. My jaw dropped. I had to pause the TV and text my friend immediately because the level of unhinged behavior we are witnessing from Phyllis Summers right now is actually breaking my brain. I am personally offended by how messy this is getting, but at the same time, I am so thrilled I can't look away. I mean, why would she do that? She needs to get it together, I swear. But let's back up because my mind is racing and I keep remembering things out of order. Wait, before that happened, actually, let's talk about the absolute mess that is Phyllis's life right now. Victor Newman has her completely backed into a corner with this AI-generated evidence trap. Christine Vlaran, don't even get me started on the bug. She is relentless right now as breathing down Phyllis's neck, ready to throw her in a prison cell and throw away the key. Michael Baldwin is exhausted trying to defend her, and Phyllis is just spiraling. Literally spiraling out of control. Her only ticket out of this nightmare, her one single solitary hope to save Summer's company and her own freedom, is Matt Clark. Yes, that Matt Clark, the literal villain of the century. So Phyllis has been keeping Matt tucked away in a hotel room, right? And Matt is playing this whole I have amnesia, I don't know who I am game, which is insane by the way. I am calling it now. He is 100% faking it. There is no way this calculating psychopath just forgot his own name. But he's sitting in this hotel room, and he starts complaining to Phyllis that he feels trapped. The audacity. This man literally trapped Nick and Adam in a storage room, kidnapped Sharon and Noah, and now he's whining about room service and feeling confined. Not okay. I'm done. But Phyllis is trying to manage him, trying to squeeze a confession out of him to use against Victor. But then and I forgot to mention earlier, but this is crucial, Phyllis obviously loses contact with him. Because Matt, being the absolute menace that he is, decides that the four walls of the hotel room are too boring, and he tells Phyllis that Genoa City holds the clues to his identity. So what does he do? He just walks out, he leaves. He wanders off into the city. At this point, I'm yelling at my screen. Phyllis, how do you lose the one guy who can keep you out of jail? The absolute panic that must have washed over her. I can't breathe just thinking about it. So Monday rolls around, and Phyllis is in a state of complete and utter chaos. She is a frantic, sweating, hyperventilating mess, running around Genoa City trying to find this amnesiac monster before he causes a disaster or, worse, before Victor finds him. She is desperately trying to salvage this deal that could save her from prison. And where does she end up in her frantic marathon around town? Crimson Lights, obviously. Because everyone in this town eventually ends up at the coffee shop when their life is falling apart. It's like a magnet for drama. Okay, where was I? Right. So Phyllis bursts into Crimson Lights, probably looking like she hasn't slept in a week, which she hasn't. Let's talk about the vibe in Crimson Lights for a second. It's always so cozy, right? The smell of roasted beans, the little pastries in the glass case, people just living their normal lives. And then in walks Phyllis, literally looking like a tornado wrapped in a designer trench coat. She is pacing, checking her phone every 2 seconds, probably mumbling to herself. And who does she run into? Sharon Newman. Of course, it's Sharon. I literally laughed out loud. The universe has a sick sense of humor. Now, let's just pause and remember the history here. Phyllis and Sharon have hated each other, tolerated each other, fought over Nick, fought over everything. But right now, Sharon is dealing with her own massive trauma. Matt Clark literally kidnapped her and Noah forced her to drive a car off a cliff to save Nick, who is now fighting for his life because of the drugs Matt gave him. Sharon is traumatized, exhausted, and completely out of patience. I always love when Sharon is just casually working at the coffee shop while her life is a literal action movie. Like, girl, you just drove a car off a cliff to escape a madman, and now you're steaming milk for a latte. The resilience is actually iconic. But anyway, Sharon sees Phyllis. And you can just see the exhaustion in Sharon's eyes. She doesn't have the energy for Phyllis's games today. She really doesn't. So Phyllis is standing there, twitching with anxiety, and Sharon just looks at her. Sharon is probably wiping down the counter, pouring a cup of coffee, just staring at Phyllis like she is an absolute circus act. And then Sharon does what Sharon does best. She gives unsolicited advice. And honestly, I was cheering for her. Sharon looks Phyllis dead in the eye and tells her exactly what she needs to hear, even though Phyllis absolutely does not want to hear it. Sharon tells her to just take Victor's deal. She tells Phyllis to swallow her massive, oversized pride, accept the deal, and give the company back to the Newmans. I mean, my jaw was on the floor. Telling Phyllis Summers to surrender to Victor Newman. You could practically see the steam coming out of Phyllis's ears. But Sharon is right. I mean, think about it. If Phyllis doesn't take the deal, she goes to prison. Christine is ready to lock her up. The evidence is flawless. Michael Baldwin has literally told her she is doomed. But Phyllis is so obsessed with winning, so obsessed with beating Victor, that she would rather risk everything than just hand over Summer's company. Wait, did I already say that? Whatever, anyway, Sharon is just trying to inject some reality into Phyllis's delusional brain. But then Sharon gets to the real point, and this is where the scene gets so dark and intense. Sharon warns Phyllis about Matt. He tells her to stop bothering him. She tells her to drop this insane plan to use him. He is a monster, Sharon says, and she would know. When Sharon tells Phyllis that Matt is a monster, she isn't just saying that to be dramatic. She is speaking from deep, deep trauma. I mean, let's rewind and really think about what Matt has done. He lured Sharon and Noah to that abandoned gas station. He held them at gunpoint. He watched Nick, the father of her children, the love of her life, let's be real, collapse on the floor, writhing in agony because of poisoned drugs. Matt enjoyed it. He smiled while Nick was dying. Sharon had to make a split-second, absolutely terrifying decision to drive their car off a cliff just to stop Matt from fully controlling them. She literally risked her own life and her son's life to escape this psycho. And now Phyllis is treating him like a bargaining chip, like a piece of evidence. It is so insulting to everything Sharon just went through. I was like, Sharon, yell at her, throw the coffee at her. But Sharon kept her cool, which honestly makes the warning even more terrifying. She warns Phyllis that if she keeps messing with Matt, if she keeps trying to manipulate a literal psychopath, he is going to make her pay dearly. Sharon is practically begging Phyllis to realize that Matt is not a pawn you can just move around a chessboard. He is a ticking time bomb. And I'm sitting here, gripping my couch cushions, just screaming, listen to her, Phyllis. But we all know Phyllis. She never listens. And how does Phyllis react? Does she take a moment to reflect? Does she say, well, Sharon, you're right. I'm so sorry for what you went through. I'll back off. Nope, not Phyllis Summers. She probably rolled her eyes, crossed her arms, and got super defensive. Because in Phyllis's mind, her pain, her potential prison sentence, her loss of Summers' company, is the most important thing in the universe. She cannot see past her own panic. And I get it. I really do. The threat of prison is terrifying. But Phyllis is so blinded by her hatred for Victor that she is willing to make a deal with the devil. And Matt Clark is the devil. I just wanted to reach through the screen and shake her, Phyllis. Look at the big picture. If you mess with Matt, you might not even live to see the inside of a prison cell. I am calling it now. This is going to end badly. Mark my words. Phyllis is going to do something completely unhinged. If she finds Matt, she's not just going to talk to him. She's going to do something crazy, like I don't know, kidnap him herself. tie him up in a basement. That is exactly the kind of unhinged behavior she is capable of when she is backed into a corner. And if she does that, she is going to unleash a whole new level of hell on herself. Because Matt is not alone. Someone is helping him. I just know it. And Phyllis is walking right into a trap. Honestly, the tension in this episode was just off the charts. I felt like I needed a nap after watching it. The way Sharon delivered that warning, so calm but so chilling, contrasting with Phyllis's manic, chaotic energy, it was just cinematic perfection. But also, I am so mad at Phyllis for putting herself in this position. She had so many chances to walk away, to make a different choice, but she just keeps digging the hole deeper and deeper. And now she is dragging Matt Clark into it, which is basically like inviting a shark into your swimming pool and hoping it doesn't bite you. And let's not forget the ripple effects of all this. While Phyllis is running around playing detective, Nick is in the hospital, Nikki is screaming in the waiting room, Adam is drowning in guilt. And Victor is just sitting in his office pulling the strings like a literal puppet master. It is so dramatic, and I am here for every single second of it. But seriously, Phyllis needs an intervention. She needs someone to lock her in a room until she calms down, because right now, she is her own worst enemy. Okay, I need to take a breath. I am way too emotionally invested in these people, but I can't help it. They feel like my chaotic friends who keep making terrible life choices, and I just have to sit here and watch the train wreck happen. What do you guys think? Is Phyllis going to listen to Sharon? Spoiler alert, nitrogen monoxide. Is she going to find Matt? And what is Matt actually doing wandering around Genoa City? Drop your thoughts in the comments because I need to talk about this with someone before my head explodes.